What up, Blood? This is Leon, the Paperback Maniac, here on the 31st of May, 2018, to bring you the conclusion of Movie Mayhem with yet another collection video. Tonight, we are taking a look at my collection of Gorezone and Toxic Horror magazines. Both were sister publications of Fangoria magazine, which I recently did a collection video of. They both came out in the late 80s when things were kind of cooling down in terms of splatter popularity and the horror genre at large, I'd say. Fangoria magazine began in May of 1988 and lasted a total of 28 issues, I believe. I have the first 16, which I'll be showing you tonight. Gorezone was introduced in December of 1989 and only lasted 5 issues, and I'll be showing those as well. So we're going to start with my Gorezone magazines. I will say right off the bat, if you were at all repulsed by any of the covers or photos that I showed in my Fangoria video, you might as well click off right now because as the name would suggest, Gorezone is more of the same. There are some pretty graphic images in that magazine, definitely catered to a niche market, i.e. People with only the most refined taste and the strongest of stomachs. But for my true kindred, you guys know who you are, you're definitely going to want to stick around because there are some true beauts to behold here. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Here we go. Here's another ugly muggly. That's Fleemus, isn't he? Another cutie pie. All right. So, issue number 1 of Gorezone. Here it is, folks. This is from May of 1988, featuring Leatherface there on the front cover. And there's the back. That actually had that same ad in the backs of Fangoria magazines. Gorezone, this is just, similar to Fangoria. There's the table of contents. But they just had some great segments. They had a segment called Video Watchdog where they would show sort of like, the things that were coming up. They would have like articles there on, just VHS releases of the time. One of my favorites, really interesting to read now in hindsight, Horror Scope, which is basically, like upcoming, what they call splatter forecast. Upcoming movies. And it's always interesting to see that and to read about the movies that just never came to fruition, of which there were many. So one of the coolest things about Gorezone, which Fangoria did not have, is every issue had an original short story. And you know me, I'm a fiction guy, so I love that. So, and they all had artwork too, like really cool artwork. So here is the first story by J.N. Williamson, who was actually the fiction editor of Gorezone, and that is Amorphous. What a cool title for a short story. And here you get a little profile on J.N. Williamson. You get a little photo there. They usually had they would have they would have 2 pictures. There's the second page photo. But really cool. And then of course, just like the profiles they would do profiles on like makeup effects artists. Let's see. They would have, full page spreads. Who's that handsome man? I don't know. Never seen him before. And they would also have posters, just like Fangoria. I haven't taken any of the posters out because they're a little like tricky to take out. And then once you do that, it kind of changes the magazine. But there's a poster for Near Dark, a little 80s road trip kind of vampire movie. But yeah, really cool stuff. So here's a profile for Bad Dreams. I mentioned that in the other video. You get these cool color photos. There's that burnt, crispy boogeyman type guy from Bad Dreams. That's lovely. So yeah, that's Gorezone issue number 1. Then here we have issue number 2. This was published in July of 1988, and I believe that is a picture of Jason unmasked. He's looking the worse for wear there, isn't he? And on the back here, we've got our Screamin' T-shirts ad. Cool old retro ad. – Here is the table of contents. I don't know if you guys can see that. see what we got here. So, you know, and it's always interesting to read like the, you know, the letter from the editor, gut reactions here. That's, you know, those are like, you know, letters. It's kind of like the early days of the internet message board before there was an internet. You know, there were still trolls out there, believe it or not. So let's see, what do we got? So, you know, profiles on like the latest horror movies. Prison, that was like kind of a Rennie Harlan directed supernatural kind of slasher. Let's see, what do we got? We got stuff on, here's the horoscope. And like, look at the layout and design. They had amazing colors. The production value of this magazine was amazing. Here, like, look at these photos of the Unholy. Like, Jesus Christ, that movie is not that exciting, but I mean, these photos make it look amazing. Like, if I was reading this magazine back in the day, I would be all about that movie, and I would see it opening weekend. You know, like, of course, who wouldn't? And you know, they've got the poster there that you know, you could take that out. Big ass poster. And I'm trying to find, I want to show each of you. Oh, okay. One of the coolest columns is Peace of Mind by Chaz Ballin. Chaz Ballin was a film critic and writer, knew his stuff when it came to splatter. And he's actually also the author of the Gore Score, that reference book I showed in my novelization video. And, you know, he knew all about it. You know, all about splatter films, and wrote about them lovingly and with grace. So really cool. Okay, here's the story of the issue, and as you can see, they use original artwork. Here's a story called Ghost Flight by D.W. Taylor. Really cool original artwork there. And there's the second page. Just absolutely gorgeous. So cool. All right, here is issue number 3. This was published in September of 1988, featuring The Blob, one of the greatest horror movies of the 80s for sure. And let's see. Oh, on the back here, we get a cool ad for Phantasm 2. That's awesome. And here is the table of contents. Look at this. More old t-shirts and sweatshirts. I actually have a reprint of that Predator sweatshirt. But look at all those. It would be awesome to have that Fly one. Those are all just really cool. I have a reprint of like a Return of the Living Dead 2 one, a t-shirt as well. But anyway, there's the table of contents. And let's see here. So, you know, okay, more gut reactions. Those are you know, like letters. They would get a lot of hate sometimes. Oh, here, Jack's Back. That's a really criminally under talked about. It's not really like a slasher. It's more like a murder mystery, but it's really, really good. I would recommend you guys check it out. Okay, here's some stuff on The Blob. Amazing. Oh yeah, just look at those pictures. Just incredible stuff. Okay, there's another one. Yes. I want to okay, let me get to the find you guys the story here. Oh man, these pictures are just like so incredible. Can't help myself. But again, I can't do this. Peace of Mind. There's Chaz Ballin writing about splatter flicks like no one else can. And okay, here's the story of the issue. This is Ghost Crabs by K.M. Ramstand. I haven't heard of a lot of these writers. I haven't read all these stories, so I can't vouch for them. I'm sure most of them are crap, but that's really cool. I love the original artwork that these stories get. Really, really cool. Okay, here is the next one. This is issue number 4, from November of 1988. You knew it was only a matter of time before Mr. Fred Krueger graced the cover. And the back, we just get some ads for other magazines like Starlog, which was published by the same company, I believe. There's the table of contents. And let's see here. I love some of these article titles. The Young and the Skinless, talking about I believe Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. And okay, let's see. Where's the story? I don't want to make this go too long. Okay, here we go. The story of this issue is Mice. What an amazing cover, huh? And then this one is by James Kisner. Okay, there's a name that we know, James Kisner. I've shown books of his in updates and collection videos. There's the second page artwork. That's cool. That is amazing. I've heard some rumors that the new incarnation of Fangoria is going to have fiction, and if they do, they would also have Future Shock. By the way, that's kind of just like a preview of what's to come. If Fangoria does have short fiction in their next in the new magazine, that would be amazing. I would really like to see that. Okay, next up, this is issue number 5. This is from January of 1989. Okay, and there's our lovely cover. And on the back, oh my god, these are the kind of ads I love. The first 3D horror game. And look, is that a screenshot from it? That shit does not look 3D. I don't know. I mean, that's amazing though. How fucking cool is that? And okay, here's the table of contents. Pretty neat. And okay, I got a little write-up on Halloween 4 there. Here's the okay, just to give you an idea of the poster, that's like a piece of the poster there. Well, good old Michael Myers, one of his many looks. And where is the okay, the story is on page 53. Let's see here. Definitely want to show you guys all the stories. So this issue's story is Cruder's Dogs by Bobby G. Warner. It's another name I'm not familiar with, but that's a beautiful picture to go along with it. And then yeah, really cool. Oh, here's a little profile on Tom Holland, the director of Child's Play and Fright Night, who I had a little embarrassing run-in with him. If you want to hear about that, watch my novelization video. Yeah, cool stuff. All right, next one we've got, this is issue number 6. This was from March of 1989, featuring Intruder, which is one of the better late 80s slashers, and a movie that has just amazing gore effects. I mean, it's actually also really stylish. It has like these really weird, it's quirky camera angles in it, but the gore is like up there. It's like one of the best, some of the best gore effects I've seen in any movie. It's like up there with, like My Bloody Valentine, Blood Rage, The Mutilator. I mean, just look at that. I mean, the gore in this thing is just outrageous. It's a fun movie too. And then there's the back. I think we've seen that ad before. Let's see. Okay. So there is the table of contents. And are there any goodies in here? Let's see. Well, yeah, that's nice. I can dig that. Here's our story of the issue. Go Before My Husband Comes Home by James Gordon White. Sorry, there it is. Yeah, pretty cool. That's an amazing picture to go with it. And this picture is really cool too. Man, these pictures are getting me excited for another video I want to do soon, but I can't do it too soon. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I mean, I can't like blow my load so fast, so to speak, right? I gotta pace myself with some of these videos. But okay, so here, just an example. Here's here's a profile on Mark Sjostrom, one of the best makeup artists of the time. He did like the makeup effects for The Mutilator, which I recently alluded to, which is just absolutely amazing. I'd say that's on par with, you know, the best of Savini's stuff. Probably better than some of the Friday the 13th stuff. Here, yeah, so let's see. What else do we got here? There's a little piece of the poster. Those are, yeah, some pretty big posters if you actually like remove them from the magazine and take them out. Got a little profile on Carolyn Monroe, Splatter Queen, a British actress. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Next up, this is issue number 7 from May of 1989. Of course, we got Freddy Krueger in the house again. Okay, cool. Look at these old models. Those are awesome. Got Elvira, Jason, Freddy. Super, super cool. You know, it's like back in the day when they had Famous Monsters, Filmland, and then, you know, people would order like model kits of like, you know, the classic monsters. Well, in the 80s and after, these were the classic, you know, the new kind of classic monsters. So there's the table of contents with the typical gorgeous color scheme that Gorezone did so well. And so, you know, letter from the editor, really cool stuff. Weekend of Horrors. Man, I wish I could have like attended those things back in the heyday. Those I've seen like the video, like the Weekend of Horrors video, and they look really really fun. Just like stuff like that is super cool. Okay, so here's a little profile on Kevin Tenney, one of my favorite directors of the time. He did like Night of the Demons and Witchboard, really fun stuff. All right, let's find the story. Where is it? Oh, here's a little gore tune. When we get to Toxic Horror had a thing called Toxic Tunes, which was like a comic segment, which is really, really cool and really fun. There's a nice, lovely image for you. There's a Peace of Mind with Chaz Ballin. One of the most entertaining segments to read. Jesus, where's the story? Hold on, I wrote this down. 53. Okay, here we go. This issue's story is called Lust for Life, and it's written by Timothy M. Swain, another name I'm not familiar with, but it's got a really cool color photo to go with it. Oh man, this is amazing. Check that shit out, yo. That's amazing. Really, really cool. Okay, here's a little review of Cameron's Closet. Movie wasn't that great, but that's based on a novel by Gary Brandner, who is a writer that I like a lot. He wrote a novel called Floater, which is just like this quintessential like 80s revenge, like supernatural revenge story. Which sadly never was adapted into a film. I think at one point it was optioned by Empire, and Tobe Hooper was supposed to direct that one, Floater, but it never happened, which is a shame because that was a cool, really cool book. I would recommend you guys check out. Gary Brandner is a great writer. Okay, next up, we've got issue number 8. This is from July of 1989. And let's see. So there's the table of contents. And, all right, I'm just going to skip to the story because, let's see here. Here it is. Okay, this story is Does It Scare You? By Steve Raznick-Tem. Okay, that's a name that is familiar. We know Steve Raznick-Tem. He's been nominated for a Stoker Award. Okay. He's got a So there's the second page. Damn, the spread's so big I can't even see like what it looks like for you guys. And, you know, just cool stuff. There's a profile on Charles Band. I mean, it's just all the stuff that I love in, like, one magazine. Basically, if you are a fan of, like, 80s splatter flicks, I mean, Gorezone is it. That's the thing. Okay, next up, we've got issue number 9. This was from September of 1989. I guess that photo is from The Laughing Dead. That shit's super obscure. I mean, I've heard of it before, but I haven't seen that one. If you guys have seen it, feel free to comment below. I mean, I don't know if it's any good, but oh, this issue's got 2 short stories. So let's take a look. So, well, first off, there's the table of contents. And let's see these stories. So, oh, we got another one from J.N. Williamson, the editor, story editor, so, or fiction editor, let's say. Oh my God, this is like amazing. The color, God, the color schemes they used is so cool. So the first story is Jax by J.N. Williamson. I mean, you gotta love that teal and yellow and, God damn, that's amazing. Really, really cool. Just screams like 90 or late 80s, early 90s. And then here's the second story. That is Clambake at Opaque Lake by Darren O. Godfrey. Pretty damn cool. There's Future Shock. All right. Next up, we've got issue number 10. This was from November of 1989. We got the Dream Child on the cover there. And let's see. Oh, there's an ad for Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. Fun little cheesy horror movie that time has completely forgotten. I mean, this thing is doesn't have any kind of release in the States. It's cool. That movie's cool because it was filmed in the Sherman Oaks Galleria, which doesn't really exist as in the same way. A bunch of movies back in the day were filmed there, like Chopping Mall and T2, and I just love the look of that. Commando, of course, with Schwarzenegger. I love the look of that mall, the way it was in the 80s. It looks totally different now. Anyway, there's the table of contents. And let's see. Okay, here's the story of the issue. It is Home Cooking by Nicholas Royal. And here's the second page of the story. Very nice. Hell yeah. Here's a little bit on Skip Inspector. I bring them up all the time, but this is about their work on, apparently they had something to do with Nightbreed. So it's like a little preview of that. There's good old Skip right there. And there's a little piece of the magazine. Couldn't even tell you what that's from off the top of my head. And of course, you know, you got to have a Nightmare on Elm Street coverage. I mean, that's a must. All right, what we got here? All right, this is issue number 11 of Gorezone. This is from January of 1990. We've hit the 90s. And there is the table of contents. Now, let's see. What do we got here? Oh, there's some lovely Greg Nicotero effects. Greg Nicotero of K&B, one of the great effects shops. Got a little article preview on Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw 3. And oh, okay. You mentioned Intruder earlier. Here's some stuff on Intruder. The slashing of Intruder, because apparently the movie was cut to shit, just edited. Like all the gore was edited out until quite, fairly recently, when it was all kind of put back in there. Okay, speaking of gore, here's the story of the issue. This is Roadkills by Michael R. Zimmerman. Very cool. Got that Pieces vibe. And I'm digging that artwork too. There's just something about the artwork from that time period, man. It's just so, it's so great. All right, what do we got next? Okay, this is issue number 12. This was from March of 1990, featuring a little mutant freak from Basket Case 2. That's cute. And there is the table of contents. Let's go right to the story here. Let's see, what do we got? Page 13. God, they don't list the pages numbers on these things. Let's see. I dig this one. Ogva, I guess. Randy Palmer. That's really cool. I dig that. It's like a Garbage Pail Kid or something. Oh yeah, this is lovely. Here's the second page. Incredible. Really, really cool. All right, let's just move on. Okay. So next up, let me make sure. Okay, yeah, this is issue number 13. This is from May of 1990, featuring, in my personal opinion, one of the greatest scream queens of all time, Linnea Quigley. She was just adorable and always fun to watch. Let's see. So there's the table of contents. And some cool artwork in the gut reactions page there. The early 90s, it was just a different time. Pretty cool. His profiles are just amazing. Here's the story of the issue. This is Witch Hunt by Christopher Allen. That's cool as hell. I mean, just like I said, the design, the layout of this with the red pages, absolutely phenomenal, right? I mean, God, that's like a thing that will never come back. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm holding out hope. I really hope that they put some effort into this new Fangoria incarnation that's coming in October. I mean, hell, for the price, they better. There's a Peace of Mind Chas Balance column. Okay. All right. This one here, this is issue number 14. This came out in July of 1990, featuring David Gale in The Bride of Reanimator. Kind of disappointing sequel, in my opinion, but, cool effects. There's the table of contents. All right, where's the story in this one? All right. Story in this issue is called Sacrifice by James Gordon White. He had an earlier story in this magazine, I believe. And there's the second page. And Who doesn't like eyeballs, right? Okay. Sorry, gotta fucking keep it rolling here. Okay, next up, this is issue number 15 from September of 1990. Here's the table of contents. And let's see. Find the... Oh. Linnea Quigley again. I really wish... Okay. There it is. Here's the story of the issue, Face Value by Wayne Allen Sally. That's a name that's familiar. I mean, I think I've heard that before. I'm not totally familiar with it, but it sounds like it rings a bell. There's the second page of the story. All right, and my last issue of Gorezone is issue number 16. This was published in, oh, now it says winter of 1990. Uh-oh. The writing was on the wall there. I don't think they were publishing now every 2 months. They're kind of probably scaling back at this point because, in the 90s, it just wasn't happening, really. But the back, we get a little ad there. Predator. That's pretty cool. Okay, there we go. Another ad, and there's the table of contents. And, okay. Here is the story for this issue. Statues by Jeffrey Thomas. Cool artwork as always. They spared no expense. Damn, they're really cool, man. They really did it up. Good stuff. All right. So, those are my gore zones. 32 minutes in. Damn it, we're still going on, though. So we're going to show you my toxic horrors now. There's 5 of them. I'll try to make it a little quick. We'll see. But, okay, Toxic Horror. Here's issue number 1. This was came out in December of 1989. It's got kind of the unholy trifecta there of kind of slasher villains of the time. Freddy, Michael, and Jason unmasked. And, Toxic Horror, this doesn't get really talked about a lot. I mean, it was so short-lived. I love how it says historic first issue, as if this is like a big deal. But this was, it's cool. It had profiles, posters. This also had fiction, and it had a comic book as well, which was really cool. And it had book reviews. It actually mixed, I believe, the book reviews and the movie reviews together, which I kind of like that idea because it's kind of putting literature on the same plane as film, which I like, So let's see if I can show you some examples of that. Well, first up, you remember I mentioned how like the Phantom of the Opera used to like freak me out as a kid. Well, I mean, just look at that. Look at how like the scarred visage. Jesus Christ, that's haunting. Let's see here. So the story, I want to show you guys. Oh yeah, the story is basically like a serial. They serialized this this thing. Let's see if I can find it. Gosh, I mean, the photos in this were just amazing too, though. I mean, these full color spreads, absolutely phenomenal. Freddy galore. Get a poster from Nightmare 3, the Dream Warriors. Just, God, I just want to show you all this. Like, look at that. you know, I mean, I'm showing you this. I'm, you know, piquing your interest possibly. If you guys like what you see, I mean, you know, check these things out. They're really cool. Oh wait, did I? No. Okay, here's a profile on Frank Henenlotter. I am a huge fan of his stuff, especially you know, Basket Case and Brain Damage. There's Brain Damage right there. Speaking of brain damage, here we go. Finally. Okay, so this is the serialized little story. The first part. This is the Booger Man, Part 1, Nasal Passage. This is written by Uncle Bob, Robert Martin. He was the first editor of Fangoria. And speaking of brain damage, he actually wrote a novelization, a very rare novelization of Brain Damage that came out around this time. And I would love to read that. I actually have it on my Kindle. It'd be cool to have the original paperback. He's actually a really solid writer. Uncle Bob knew how to write. I haven't read this serialized like story. I'm really excited. Look at the amazing artwork there for it. That is just super cool. And I think this issue had some other cool thing I wanted to show you. Yeah, look at this. Juvenile delinquent fiction of the 1950s. Like, what a cool article. Jesus Christ. Like, that is like an amazing article to read about, right? Especially for all us, right? Us fiction fans. So cool. And look, any magazine that reviews an Onyx, a weird Onyx title like Big Girl, has got my attention. I own this book. I showed that in my Onyx video. I haven't read it yet, but I hear it's absolutely like bonkers and super fun. I'm looking forward to reading that. Okay, so here's Toxic Horror issue number 2. This is from February of 1990, featuring Toxie. There's our table of contents. God, this video is going to be so long. I don't care. You guys can click off anytime. Here's the section. So here's where they have like their reviews. So they review the piece of shit Bud the Chud. I'm not a fan of that one. Okay, here's some. They got some cool stuff there. Slaughterhouse. That's an amazing poster. Much better than the movie. There's a cool one. My mother's a werewolf. And then they mix it up with book reviews, right? We got the Official Splatter Movie Guide. I love that book. I showed that in my novelization video. They got a thing called The Pack. Not familiar with that one. As I said, I discover a lot of books through here. It's funny. I recently bought that book, Nightmare Logic. I'll probably show that in the upcoming Mailbox Horrors video. Look, they review the novelizations of Freddy. I showed you guys. I have parts 4 and 5 written by Ray Garton under the pseudonym Joseph Locke. Looking forward to reading that. I got a book called Psycho Squad. Awesome. Awesome stuff. All right. Now let me find... Got to show you guys... okay, here is Toxic Tunes. So their first comic is Club Undead. Super cool. Yeah, that's got me so stoked for like another video that I'm going to do. Probably maybe this summer. Or maybe, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see when I make that one. There's more of the comic. And they even review like shot on video trash, like Stuff Stephanie and the Incinerator. Like that's great. Okay, got a little profile on Nightmare on Elm Street 5. God, where is... Okay, here we go. This is what everyone's waiting for. The Booger Man, Part 2, A Nose for Trouble. That's great. God, I can't wait to read these. It's going to be really fun. telling you, man, Uncle Bob, he has some writing chops. He's definitely a good writer. Okay, this one is issue number 3 with Nightbreed on the cover. This came out in April of 1990. And there's our table of contents. And, okay, let's see. Just look at the preview of stuff in this issue. All things that I fucking love. It's just great. They review stuff like that too, which is cool. We talk about like comics. Pretty wide ranging. I mean, you know, in terms of splatter. Probably should have used bookmarks here. Okay, here's a little thing on the art of Clive Barker. Who the hell wouldn't want to read that, right? I mean, I know all my viewers would want to read that. Little ad for Gore Shriek. That'll be coming up soon enough. Mark my words. Okay, here we go. There we go. Boogerman Part 3, Olfactory Fire. Amazing. God, look at that again. Jesus. Little excerpt for you there. Yes. Okay. 2 more to go here. This is issue number 4. This came out in June of 1990. And the back, we've got a theatrical ad for Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. I really dig that poster. Okay, so there's cult classics. There's the table of contents. And let's see. Got a little toxic quiz. That's cute. Super cool stuff, man. They review like Blood Diner, another one of my favorites from the 80s. Let's see. I know it's a really compelling video just watching me flip through these pages, but I'm trying to find cool stuff to show you. Look at that. Look at that amazing explosion. Is that from the No, I think that's from Dawn of the Dead. That's that's great. That is great. God, okay, here we go. Here we go. There's the Boogerman, Part 4, No Sense. Gotta love those puns. More amazing full-color goodness. Uncle Bob, you demand. Oh, and here's the toxic tune of the episode. Rest in Pieces. Those toxic tunes were written by a guy named Mark Voger. There's more toxic tune action. Very nice. All right, and the last issue of Toxic Horror that was ever produced. This is issue number 5 from August of 1990. And featuring, anyone seen this movie, Frankenstein Unbound? Severely underrated. It's a Roger Corman flick, one of the last flicks that he directed, based on a Brian Aldiss story, the writer who also wrote the story that AI was based on. really good movie. This is surprisingly well done, and frankly, it's one of my favorite Frankenstein adaptations. I love it. There's the table of contents, and okay. At this point, why rush, right? If you're watching it now, you're pretty much here. Okay, cool. Here we go. So here are the reviews. They review Joe R. Lansdale. That's super cool. Any magazine that reviews Joe R. Lansdale is cool in my book. They review some book called Blake House. See, I've never heard of that. See, and people ask me, where do I discover all these things? Well, partly it's stuff like this that you gotta seek them out. So the Fangoria Horror Hotline. Yeah. Okay. There's more Linnea Quigley goodness. She was awesome. She is awesome. Hell, she's still around. Okay. Trying to find, we got to see the last, I wonder if they, okay, well, here's Toxic Tunes. And, ooh, a little racy here. I can't even see what you're looking at. I don't know if you can get the whole thing in there, but it's just to pique your interest, right? God, where the hell was the Booger Man 46? Okay, hold on. You got to see the final chapter in Booger Man. I wonder if it was the final chapter. I don't know. They weren't planning on ending at issue 5, so I don't know if this was ever completed or not. I hope so. That's super cool. Mama Knows. Mama Knows. Just super cool, zany. How could you get upset? How would a mom get upset at a kid if she saw this? That's fucking Bugs Bunny shit right there. It's not serious. Come on. All right, guys. Well, damn, 47 minutes. I've broken my record, and then some. Whew. Okay, those were my Gorezone and Toxic Horror. What a way to end movie mayhem with an epic video. If you've stuck around for the entire thing, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed movie mayhem. I had fun doing it. I am looking forward, though, to, moving on and just, doing my regular sort of rando book reviews. And I got some fun stuff lined up for June. I got some fun books that I'm planning on reading. Cool collection videos lined up as well. So stay tuned for that. And, if you enjoyed this video, if you've been watching my stuff and been enjoying, these types of videos, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean a lot. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you later. Peace out.